It is now time to move on to our second session on best practices in urban diplomacy for peace and cooperation. This is our second session. The first session was a special one. We heard interesting and valuable opinions. It was very inspiring. And in this session, I will first give the floor to the mayor of Amman, Mr. Yusuf Al-Shawarbe. The floor is yours. Mr. Ekrem İmamoğlu, the Honorable Mayor of Istanbul, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, I greet you all with respect. I first of all would like to express my gratitude to the Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality for having invited us to this very important meeting, because we all know that cities play a very focal role in peace building, especially in the Middle East and North Africa. We are faced with many global and regional challenges. We have political tensions as well as armed conflicts. We have natural disasters, floods, and other man-made disasters as well. As cities, we've already proven that we can easily build bridges between us, and we can find solutions to our problems. And the more we cooperate, the better we develop. As the Kingdom of Jordan, we do our best to carry the flag of peace in the Middle East under the leadership of His Excellency the King. We attach a lot of importance to tolerance and peace, both regionally and internationally. So coexistence and intercultural dialogue are two important values for us. Jordan has always been pro-peace in crises. Jordan hosts 4.5 million refugees, which makes up approximately 42% of the Jordanian population. And we also had repeating waves of refugees, and Jordan has always been a safe harbor for them. And the mayor of the municipality of Amman has always provided services to all citizens, including refugees. We do our best through welfare and prosperity, but we have limited resources, and we're stricken by the climate change as well. Humanitarian crises can be solved through regional and international means. But we also believe that the municipal diplomacy can play a very positive role here. If we want some form of accelerated growth, then this can be only achieved through urban diplomacy. That is the only way to achieve sustainability. Multilateral cooperation is of utmost importance. And both in national, regional, and international platforms, the municipalities have an important role to play. International partnerships also play an important role in urban diplomacy because we sign new agreements all the time, and we renew the existing agreements that we have to create a platform of peace, and we always try to cooperate with our neighboring countries, with the surrounding countries as well. This has always been our vision, because we believe that we can overcome the challenges that we experience in our cities only through cooperation. We signed many memoranda with different sister cities, Arab and non-Arab. Amman has been a member. Amman is a member to many international networks through which we can share experience and know-how. It gives us better governance skills. It's also a way of fighting xenophobia and discrimination. We stand against these two developments. We are part of 6 different groups: Smart Cities, the Arab Union cities, and other groups as well. We try to activate all programs that are pro our people. And we try to find comprehensive solutions to global problems such as climate change. We attach a lot of importance to green infrastructure and sustainable goals. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that this meeting will serve as an important platform to strengthen our relations. And cities play a very important role in peace building. We are strong through our diversity, actually, in this geography. As Amman, we will always play an important role in peace building. We'll do our best for a prosperous joint future. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Al-Shawarbe, for this beautiful presentation, because you focused on diplomacy, urban diplomacy, and I also believe that diplomacy among cities will contribute significantly to peace. This was a very important contribution. Jordan hosts a significant number of refugees. More than 40% of the population is made out of refugees, as he mentioned, and this actually makes urban life very challenging. And our sole desire for all of us is to make sure that people are happy and content in the geography, in the city where they live. Thank you for sharing these opinions and thoughts with us. And thank you for your commitment that Amman will always play a role in peace building. My gratitude to you, sir. Following Yusuf, I pass the floor on to the mayor of Rabat and the deputy president of Metropolis. I pass the floor on to Ms. Fatiha Al-Mudni. We have 2 ladies around the table today, and I hope that we will see more ladies around the table one day. So with these thoughts, I pass the floor on to Fatiha Al-Mudni.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Peygamber Efendimiz üzerine salat selam.
The Mayor of Istanbul, distinguished mayors, representatives of local authorities, I greet each and every one of you with respect. And I would like to thank everyone for this organization. I also would like to thank especially the Mayor of Istanbul on behalf of my delegation from Rabat. Thank you for this invitation. And I hope we continue with these strategic meetings. These meetings will crown our joint efforts. Government representatives, representatives of regional organizations, global financial institutions, economic and social actors. We have many participants in this meeting from different organizations. We have many distinguished select participants here, and we're very happy to see them all in this gathering. And a strong cooperation in MENA is a very important step to be taken. Now we have a new front in globalization, which is not limited to liberal markets. We need new platforms through which we will carry our work from local to international as well. Local authorities now play an important role in bilateral relations in the globe. The Kingdom of Morocco, Morocco's capital, political, cultural, and social capital is Rabat. And we had recent conflicts, we had natural disasters as well. And taking into account all these developments, I once again would like to highlight the importance of our role as mayors in promoting peace. Government policies, social programs, sustainable development programs, spatial justice, all these areas actually fall under our responsibilities. We try to develop policies that make the best use of natural resources as well as municipalities. At the local level, throughout history, we've been the meeting point of many different civilizations. We've always served as a role model for coexistence, cohabitation. We've always been open to peace. And Rabat has always been an important symbol of this. We have two important international festivals, the International Mawazin Festival and the International Cultural Festival, which serve as symbols of our openness to different cultures and peace. These festivals serve as bridges to close the gap between different cultures. In this regards, we attach importance to transparency and constructivism. We attach importance to a good governance that will bring us closer to our citizens, and for this we started interactive and digital technological programs. This is one of the principles of our strategy, of which we're very proud. We're very proud of our training, and capacity building programs, because these programs promote the personal growth of our youth and also help us to provide targeted services to different segments of the society. Regional groups. We have different regional groups, and we also organize programs that aim at the needs of different regional groups. And this once again highlights the role of municipalities. Through decentralized management and administration plans, we work in cooperation with different capitals and cities, and we work in cooperation with UCLG, where we are together with the mayor of Ramallah, Adana, and others as well. We are a part of the Arab Union of Cities, and a member of the Union of Metropolitan Cities, as well as OEDP and other organizations. We are an active and effective member of the United Nations Local Governments Working Group. In order to stand against the international challenges, we believe that it's very important to constantly communicate and act together. Sustainable urban development is vital for sustained peace. Mohammed VI, under the leadership of Mohammed VI, we also initiated a program called the City of Light, the cultural capital of Morocco, Rabat. This turned Rabat into a hub, a cultural hub. We do our best to improve infra and superstructure, increase parks in our cities, in our city, and organize more cultural activities as well. In order to enhance social interaction and dialogue, we attached importance to building new squares, and we provided support to women as well in this regard. In Rabat, we have joint projects for women that we run with our sister cities. This, of course, requires support from the private sector as well as from the government as well. Today, we are all aware of the fact that we need a very close cooperation among local authorities in order to achieve change, and we can act as the engine behind this change. We can build active bridges between our societies, develop a conciliation, a reconciliation, and work as mediators. We can further enhance cooperation, but in a just and equal way, and that is why gender equality is one of our principles. The social problems that we experience require a dialogue between local authorities and the central governments. For a society without conflicts or social injustice, we believe that we need joint efforts. And a cooperation between continents, between countries, and at the local level as well. At the local level, the municipalities play a very important role in communication.
sağlamak için katkılarını bir kez daha vurgulamak istiyorum.
We once again would like to emphasize the support that Rabat commits to provide in order to achieve better cooperation with other municipalities. And I believe that the recommendations that we will draft at the end of this meeting will be crucial, and we already agree with the joint declaration. Thank you.
Değerli Fatiha,
Esteemed colleague, Ms. Fatiha, Mayor, we have listened to your speech with a lot of enthusiasm. Rabat has a journey, has had a journey that is very much focused on art and culture. And yes, when cities come around culture and art, they definitely get to know each other better, and they keep things lively. And also there was a call for eradicating inequalities. She emphasized equal opportunity, she emphasized gender inequality, and she has said that cities therefore assume an important role in dealing with these matters as well, that women and young people assume a leader position in certain activities is important, which would lead to change. Change, yes, we have to adapt to change. And change, particularly in this century, I think, comes at a critical time. And our priorities are changing at this critical time. And therefore, Fatiha brought the idea of change into our agenda and how we should observe it, respect it. And this I find very important, since our main aim and common goal is to establish peace. This emphasis on change and adapting change is also very welcome. And I do hope that the number of women mayors will increase in our cities in this region. I am a father to a daughter, so as also a father, I would like to emphasize one more time that yes, I would like to see more women in these positions. I would like to thank Madam Mayor Fatiha El Mudni for her remarks. Now I would like to go to Palestine, the mayor of Sarfit, and also the president of APLA. The floor is yours, Abdul Karim Zubaydi. Good morning, all. Distinguished Mayor, the Mayor of Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality, distinguished representatives, distinguished representatives, I would like to greet all of you with respect. I would like to first of all thank Mr. Ekrem İmamoğlu for his hospitality and for hosting us here, because he's showing us how seriously he takes this issue of building peace and the responsibility of municipalities in building peace. By bringing together this meeting, he's showing his will and his determination. Now, in APLA, we have a diplomacy unit, and we are also working on similar matters. In Palestine, we have been in war for many, many years, and we have established relations with international organizations. We kept in contact with brotherly, sisterly cities, and we wanted to cooperate against the world and against the genocide that has been in place against us for many, many years. And we wanted to cooperate and stand in solidarity with those who had sympathy. Now, this meeting is a very important meeting because it gives us another opportunity to get together. Now, you may see things on TV, but TV will not show you what's really happening because media does not have access to everything. People are forced to leave. They are forced to evacuate from Gaza. In the north of Gaza, there are thousands of people who live there, but they are now forced to leave. And in Palestine, at least 5 mayors were killed in this war, and they became martyrs. And some mayors might have had different political backgrounds, but nevertheless, mayors are there to serve people, and therefore their political background is not important. They are killed and murdered, and what happens is we lose our buildings, we lose our organizations because they also bring them down, and everybody is a victim. I do not want to digress away from the main theme of this meeting that we're having today. We're talking about urban diplomacy, how we will contribute to peace. Now, we can also call it people's diplomacy. This kind of diplomacy might be stronger than an official diplomacy. It might still carry the same message. However, an urban diplomacy, the diplomacy of people, might be more influential in showing, demonstrating what's really happening. I can give you some examples about the Palestinian cause. For instance, America did not want to sign the Palestinian agreement. However, the New York municipality was ready to put their signature on the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement was not signed by the United States, but was signed by the New York municipality. There are other examples I can give you. The Barcelona municipality, for instance, works with us. And again, I can give you other examples of cities which had brotherly relations with Israeli cities, but they have now terminated these relations. And a similar city in France, for instance, officially acknowledged the existence of Palestine, whereas the state, the government, the official position is not so. So what I'm trying to say is the official position, the government's position might be different, but municipalities sometimes have different diplomacies. They pursue different policies. So this is a good platform. We can get together to talk about our main goals. We are an oppressed people, and we are occupied, and this is an occupying gang, and we are being oppressed. So I think through the diplomacy of the people, through the diplomacy of cities, we can demonstrate our cause more influentially, more realistically. This is what I was trying to say. And again, I will have a proposal, and I do hope that it will be taken up by this gathering here today, and also by Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality. Now, why do not we have a solidarity or a friendship agreement between Arab cities and Jerusalem? Because Jerusalem is the capital of the state of Palestine, and also it is the center of the world, and it is the capital of peace. So I think it is instrumental, the city of Jerusalem. We can work together to have a friendship agreement with Jerusalem. We can announce it as a friendly city. I have my colleague coming from Amman, from Rabat. So as APLA, we try to raise our voice in every platform in order to represent our cause more realistically. Now, have you heard of the phoenix, the bird? Palestinians are like that bird. We do not die. We rise from our ashes. And every time we die, we will definitely rise from our ashes. Thank you, Mayor Abdulkarim Zubeidi, for your contributions, for your participation. I thank you for sharing your feelings. Now, let me first of all say this. Palestine has been suffering from wars for many, many years, and has suffered tragedy and killing of its people. And we are deeply saddened by it. It's a test where the whole world is put to shame, where we failed to defend the rights of the Palestinian. We have an oppressor here and people who are oppressed, and within the framework of human rights, we know that wherever it is in the world, we should protect these rights and these people with no conditions, unconditionally. And unfortunately, many countries, nations, organizations which are human rights fighters or advocates have remained silent. And I condemn this, and I cannot bring myself to accept this. We otherwise will have difficulty explaining why we are against such brutality and oppression anywhere else in the world, if we're silent today, because we do understand that there's the part of tragedy that we see, and there are tears and tragedy that we cannot see. Women, children are victims. They suffer this tragedy, and we do stand with our Palestinian friends, and whatever we have to do, we definitely would be ready to do it. And Mr. Mayor, with his two titles here, have shared with us what we can do in order to help the Palestinian cause. In this platform, we will learn from one another, and when we go back to our posts, we will work and behave accordingly. I think we will only be acquitted of this shame when Palestine is free, because otherwise your conscience will not leave you to rest in peace. And we do hope, as your friends, and pray that those days will come. Now, you also talked about the importance of diplomacy. Given us examples. And this new network that we are bringing together here will help us, will strengthen our hand in international diplomacy. This is his wish, and I do hope that we can do that. And an agreement of friendship between the cities that you've mentioned and Jerusalem. This is also something that we will take up. We should discuss, and we will continue to talk to you about this. We can contact you and our colleagues, and I'm sure that everybody here took notes, and we thank you for sharing your feelings and contributing to our meeting. Now I would like to give the floor to the mayor of Mersin metropolitan area, Mr. Vahap Seçer. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Distinguished mayors, distinguished governors, distinguished participants and guests, I would like to greet all of you with respect on behalf of the people of Mersin. We are talking about the role and potential of local governments in building peace. And we're here to exchange opinion, to learn from one another. And I'm very happy, I feel very honored to be with you on this occasion. And I would like to extend my thanks to our mayor, Mr. Ekrem İmamoğlu, and also the president of the Union of Municipalities in Turkey, for bringing us together and for creating this platform. We cannot turn a blind eye to humanitarian crises and conflicts that are raging in Middle East and North Africa, and we are here all together in order to find solutions to these problems. In this region, there have been problems of wars, migration, disasters, economic difficulties, and social conflicts. And in this very difficult environment, we still emphasize the language of peace. We try to increase solidarity, and we are determined to build future together. Local governments are in touch with people. They have direct contact with people, and they have higher capacity to manage social structures. They encompass diversity, they're flexible, and therefore they can play an important role in establishing peace. Social dialogue mechanisms should also be established in building peace and crisis management. And building these structures fall under the capabilities of municipalities. We can also take our work to a higher international level, because we have that capability as well. So local governments should take up an active role and demonstrate a strong will, because this is critically important for the region. Now, as for our municipality, the Mersin Metropolitan Municipality, we see ourselves as a local government, yes, but we are pioneers of solidarity and peace in the Mediterranean basin. Mersin is a city of migration too. It has been built as a result of migration movements, and therefore it represents cultural diversity, cooperation, and solidarity. We are ready to carry this heritage forward into the future. And with every step that we take, we try to become more inclusive, more resilient, and we try to establish a peaceful society. Now, this meeting also emphasizes peace and cooperation. And I think in terms of these two concepts, what's really important is to create multicultural environments like the one that we have here today. In Mersin, we are also very careful about creating similar platforms, about using inclusive language, and these contribute highly to creating a peaceful environment. As the Mersin Metropolitan Municipality, we have international cooperation activities as well. We have social harmony and cohesion projects, and I think these international work contribute a lot to building and establishing peace. Universal values are the values that we respect when we cooperate in different fields as the municipality. We contact international financial institutions to offer earthquake and migrant packages, to offer services. We work with World Bank and UN in order to run some projects for our city. We have brother cities projects, we have educational activities, cultural and sports activities, thanks to these international joint projects we're running with aforementioned institutions. We are a multicultural city. This is for us a diversity, and therefore we conduct many social cultural activities, including all circles of society, to establish dialogue, peace, and communication. We cooperate with the Mediterranean organizations, Mediterranean unions of municipalities as well, in order to deepen our ties. After the Syrian conflict, we have received many refugees from Syria. Our municipality has established a social harmony center which helps these refugees, which tries to integrate them into the society. We are members to international city networks, and we give utmost importance to playing a role in these international networks to represent our country. This gives us the opportunity to create an agenda in international institutions. It gives us an opportunity to mobilize them and to also create an influence on them. Urban diplomacy. Through municipalities, urban diplomacy gives us a chance to talk about global responsibilities and to improve our mutual relations. All countries are more and more dependent on one another, and therefore cities will play a more and more important role in establishing peace, and they will complement the traditional state-oriented diplomacy. Many people now live in urban areas. Urbanization, globalization go hand in hand. And therefore, urban problems have attracted global attention, and this created an atmosphere where local problems can be raised to the global level. The Mersin municipality, because we are close to some crisis areas, we have suffered difficulties and difficult times as well. Economic difficulties, natural disasters, and the pandemic came in this era. However, as a municipality, we learned from these experiences, and we knew what it meant to work together. In issues like climate change as well, municipalities play an important role, and our municipality has acted in international projects in areas like climate change as well. As local governments, we cannot afford to just dream about peace. We have to take concrete steps to build peace. Cities should bring their energies together and should be vanguards in creating a global peace movement. Despite all difficulties, here we are sitting around this table, and we're standing firm. And we can see the challenges ahead, but we also see the opportunities ahead of us. Whenever we have difficulties, we know that we have the opportunity to reorganize and restructure. And we know that if there are discrepancies or conflicts, there are also opportunities to get together and to stand together. I know that after this meeting we will have even a stronger resolve to create a better future and better worlds for all of us. At the people's level, at the projects level, activities level, at the solutions level, I am sure that we will be stronger in creating projects, in sharing knowledge and information and experience. This meeting, therefore, is very elemental, very important, and I am looking forward to the coming meetings that we might have. I wish you all a fruitful meeting, and I do hope that it will bring another hope for all of us in the region. Thank you. My dear friend and Mr. Mayor Vahap, thank you for your remarks. Again, you have emphasized very important points. The cities are centers of experience and know-how. And based on this experience and know-how, the cities can stand together in solidarity. And the Mediterranean region is seen as a whole, and with a holistic approach, the cities here could also work together, and this might lead to very positive consequences for the region. The mayor works in Mersin, and Mersin is in a position to have a lot of experience in many issues. He also talked about climate change, natural disasters, migration, and how these three affected the city of Mersin. How, in turn, the municipality has accumulated experience. And he has said that he is ready to share this experience and contribute to our cooperation. When we consider what's currently happening in Syria, we can fathom that many cities will have to be restructured, rebuilt in Syria. And during this process, our cities could get together and could start working together, which would definitely deepen the ties and strengthen the bonds between our people and our municipalities. He also talked about a movement of global peace, and he said that as municipalities we can be the leaders of that, the engines of global peace. I take this very seriously, and it's a very strong message, and I wanted to thank you for this strong message. Now, Mr. Mayor, I would like to give the floor now. I would like to thank you. Now I would like to give the floor to Tehran, the speaker for the mayor, Abdul Muhattar Mohammedani. The floor will be yours on behalf of Tehran.
به نام خدا. خانم ها، آقایان و همکاران محترم. در ابتدا می‌خواهم درخواست کنم.
In the name of God, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, martyr Ahmed Kehil and his colleagues, the martyr of Lebanon. On behalf of them, I will ask for a moment of silence of 30 minutes for these colleagues who have lost their lives due to attacks.
سپاسگزارم.
Thank you very much.
Gazze'ye yönelik saldırıların başladığı 7 Ekim 2023'ten bugüne
Since the 7th of October 2023, when the attacks against Gaza started, more than 17,000 Palestinian children lost their lives, which means that on average 40 innocent children were killed each and every day.
oynaması amacıyla bölgemizde düzenlenen
And in order,
şu anda biz bu toplantıyı
even during this meeting, as we hold this meeting, this two-day meeting, 80 more innocent children already lost their lives under the violent bombs of Israel. Please see these photos. I want each and every one of you to see these photos.
öldürülen ya da öldürülmeyi
These are photos of children who were killed or who are waiting to be killed.
sivil toplum kuruluşunun araştırmalarına göre medeni
According to the research of an NGO, 96% of the children in Gaza believe that they can die any minute. And more than 50% of them even desire death because they're already experiencing significant trauma. These stats show that this is a very profound disaster. So we have to ask ourselves what we've done to stop these attacks. Because actually this disaster requires a swifter mobilization from us. As a philosopher once said, cities are the example of social thought. They're the centers of social thought. They're not only local structures, they're also the structures of one nation's thoughts. And they show us, the cities show us the values of a certain society, the thoughts of a certain society. These thoughts, these cities being destroyed, means that actually thoughts are also destroyed with the cities. Ibn Khaldun, the biggest philosopher of the Islamic world, wrote the following: civilizations are born out of cities. However, the fall of cities is the first sign of the end of civilizations. So in the light of these historical sayings, we can start reconsidering the role of cities in building peace and stability. We know that cities are only safe as long as their neighbors are safe. This region is the meeting point of religions. Many different civilizations and religions lived together and coexisted in this geography for thousands of years, in this very same ground. During the Crusades, the war could not cover the beautiful face of the Islamic world, and Islam has always inspired the West. A writer wrote the following about the Crusades. In his book, actually, this writer discusses the impacts of these wars on the Christian world as well as the Muslim world. And in this book, he underlines the fact that Westerners met beautiful cities of the Islamic world, such as Aleppo, Damascus, and Baghdad. And their perspective towards Islam has changed. Islamic cities, and I quote, he said, were not only social and economic centers back then, they were also introduced to the Christian world as examples of real beauty, of beautiful cities. So cities of Islam were introduced to the Christian world through their beauty. And these beautiful cities created a representation of Islam in the eyes of the Westerners. Ladies and gentlemen, our beautiful and lovely cities actually should serve as the pioneers of peace building in our region. If we don't do this, there won't be any signs left of culture, civilization, or of any of these cities. The ones who distort the stability in the region actually aim at distorting the beauty of our cities. And they're trying to destroy the face of Islam. They're trying to distort the image of our Prophet in people's minds. It's been more than 400 years. Gaza and Lebanon has experienced massacres and genocides for more than 400 years. Innocent people lost their lives, but at the same time, cities also fell as casualties as well. Our peoples lived together and interacted with one another for thousands of years. But starting with this new century, from Afghanistan to Iraq, from Palestine to Syria, all the peoples of the Middle East and North Africa fell victim to murders and destruction. And these atrocities came from people who did not live in this geography. Exploitation turned into a tool in order to kill the people in this region. Of course, there were internal actors involved as well, because without the involvement of international actors, it wouldn't have been possible. And cities can actually stop wars, because cities are the first building block of public administration, and they're the pioneers of public administration. Therefore, they can play an important role in building peace and stability in the whole world, because without the cities, there wouldn't be any culture or civilization left. International cooperation will also contribute to peace and stability and will prevent bloodshed. Well, of course, countries design their policies at a national level. But cities, too, play a very important role. The reason behind the drive behind the attacks against Palestine and Lebanon lies in cooperating with the Zionist regime. Local governments can stop their relations with these regimes, rendering them illegitimate, and they can ask their central governments to do the same, to cut all links with the Zionist regime and to put an end to war. International organizations and courts condemned the actions of the Zionist regime. They also asked for prosecution for the leaders of the Zionist regime, but this didn't stop them from occupying Palestine. We have to force them to start a ceasefire, and cities and local governments should act as pioneers. This meeting that we organized today under the leadership and guidance of Mr. İmamoğlu can turn into a very important platform. And it can help us to fight against internal and external actors. Let me once again reiterate the fact that national security is based on the security and safety of our neighbors and of our region. Any problem in the region is our problem, actually. Our experience shows us that the problems in Syria, Yemen, or elsewhere will not be limited to their political borders. The smoke from the fire in these countries will blind us all. So countries should not be fooled thinking that in the short run they will not be affected by these developments. They shouldn't believe the promises of external factors, external actors either, and they should know that the smallest bit of instability will shake the whole region. And we experience this as waves of refugees. And in this regard, the municipalities have a very important role to play. We have to work hand in hand, and we have to fight these external forces who spark the fire. A ceasefire is urgently needed in Gaza, and we need humanitarian aid for Gaza as well as a comprehensive solution to the Syrian problem. As I conclude, I would like to thank the mayor of Istanbul, Mr. İmamoğlu, and for having us here, for this initiative, and for having us here. I hope that our collective efforts here in this platform will bring peace back to our region and will bring back smiles to our faces. We've always been sisters and brothers, and we have to act as one. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mohammedani. Touched upon very important points. The massacre taking place in Palestine, experienced by children, is heartbreaking, and he shared these with us. It should put the whole world to shame, because the world is far from reacting to these massacres in the way it should. Of course, boycotts and other measures should be taken in line with international law to show our sensitivity towards this issue. And this issue should not only be limited to Palestine. Wherever there is a massacre against humanity anywhere in the world, we have to act in the same equitable manner from the same equal distance. And in his remarks, he underlined the fact that national security means the security and stability of your neighbors and in your region. This is a very important highlight of this meeting as well, and that is why we are here as a platform. We're looking into ways of developing joint solutions to our regional problems. Well, of course, we are gathered around this table and we are as inclusive as possible around this table. That should be our perspective. We include all different beliefs and sects here. We have we represent all the peoples of the Middle East and North Africa. This is a very important perspective for all of us. So our standing should always be in line with universal values and international law, because this kind of an approach will be seen as more respected by the whole world. So I hope that we will be able to expand this table through your important contributions, taking into account universal values and principles. Okay, this brings us to the end of the speaker list. Would anyone like to take the floor before we conclude? Before we conclude this session? Yes, please, Mr. Mayor.
Selam Peygamber Efendimiz üzerine ve sahabeleri olsun. Ben gerçekten harflere bile acıdım. Gerçekten çok güçlü kelimeler kullanıyorsunuz.
You use very strong words. I first of all would like to thank Mr. İmamoğlu, the mayor of the Metropolitan Mayor of Istanbul. I would like to thank him for organizing this historic gathering and bringing us together from the Middle East, bringing us together from countries of the Middle East and North Africa. Istanbul always had a historic role, and it will always continue to play this role. And municipalities, too, play a very important role. Actually, this is the destiny of Istanbul. It's a historic reality for Istanbul that it has to perform this role. I would like to share with you my experience from the perspective of Libya and Tripoli. We had a very sad experience, a very sad war experience as well. Cities do die from time to time, or they're left to themselves. Sometimes they're violated. Cities are just like human beings. And during wars, one feels lonely. And I believe that urban diplomacy in this regard is very important. It's very human. And it is actually one of the requirements of Islam. But urban diplomacy is not always enough. This is what we see in the case of Palestine. There's ongoing bloodshed for so many years. Urban diplomacy has not worked. So we simply watch whatever is going on. We need a real establishment where we can make our voices heard. I would like to thank the mayor of Istanbul for this platform where we can make ourselves heard. Now, as you know, Libya showed a very important resistance during the Arab Spring. So at first, it was a very noble effort, but then came the conflict between different tribes. And now we have a completely different conflict. We can't agree on democracy or our constitution. So there's ongoing strife and conflict in our country. The law on local authorities, law number 59, is another text on which we cannot agree. So in the end, the municipalities in Libya are run by the central government. But we're about to enter a new phase. And now, municipalities will be given new authorities, and we want to learn more from other countries' experiences. That's why I'm very happy to be with you here around this table today. I saw 3 wars so far. And I can easily say that war is the worst thing that can happen to a human being. Because you can overcome anything, but war is a problem that you can't overcome. Diplomacy, yes, plays a very important role. Yes, we do have several problems. We have water shortages. We have problems to do with the climate change. And you can overcome any of these problems, but there's no way of overcoming war because it's total destruction. Now about Palestine. It is our #1 issue, and I would like to apologize to the people of Palestine because we couldn't give it the importance it deserves. Let me once again thank Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality for this initiative. We will be more than happy to support you in all these initiatives, and we stand with you with any international initiative that you may run or any initiative that you organize for the Palestinian people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ibrahim. Of course, we have limited time and we will have to take a break now. But I've taken tons of notes from your comments right now. I'm sure we will have another opportunity to hear the remaining speakers in the afternoon, because we have important topics coming up as well. But what you said about war is the highlight of all your remarks. War is very bad and peace is valuable. So we have to make sure that we try to find a solution through diplomacy and support peace to the fullest extent. My dear friends, we are now in the district of Eyüp Sultan. Eyüp Sultan, the district of Eyüp Sultan received its name from our Prophet's visit to Medina. He stayed at Ayub al-Ansari's cemetery in Medina. Ayub Ansari's cemetery is here, as I said before. This was 1,355 years ago. We're about 300 meters away from his grave. Mehmet II, who conquered Istanbul in 1453, had a tomb built for Ayub al-Ansari here in this neighborhood. In the afternoon session, we will focus on promoting urban development through local authorities. This will be our third session. In this third session, we're going to have a surprise guest, an Istanbulite, Professor Daron Acemoğlu, will join us in the afternoon. He won the Nobel Economy Prize a couple of days ago, and he will address us in our third session. And after his speech, again, I will give the floor to our mayors to hear their opinions. And of course, finally, we will sign contracts, a cooperation contract with Amman and Ramallah, and we will also sign a memorandum with Baghdad in your presence, and then we will call it a day. It's a time for the Friday prayer. For those who would like to attend the Friday prayer, we can take you to the Eyüp Sultan Mosque. For those who cannot attend, we organized another shuttle for you to go up the hill to Pialoti, from where you can have a beautiful view of Istanbul. We will now break, and we will meet in the afternoon. But before our afternoon session, we are going to have lunch served at Lokanta Safdarun right next door, and our meeting will adjourn at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We had a very efficient Friday morning, and I hope we will have a more efficient Friday afternoon. Thank you very much.